So yeah, and I was saying about the mindset, like, yeah, we expect a CV to be chronological, since chronological is the most common type. And when we look for a candidate, we actually look for someone who has a chronological background or history in the same field, or in the same field, or in the education. That is why it's most common we expect a CV that is to be uh, uh, placed as chronological format. So it's a very common one. Uh, if you have a straight career path, like you don't have any career break, you didn't switch between industry and sector, then it's very perfect for you. And even you don't have any education break. So this is the most common type of CV for everyone, since we actually falls in this category. But for those who actually don't have a clear career path, like those who work in different sector or different industries, or have career gap, even education gap, for them the best suited CV is functional CV. So what we do, we actually cluster our career background or our experience or our educational background in clusters of our skills and competencies. Like maybe you worked in NGO or in corporate sector or in bank, but in every sector you work in the communication department. Then you can cluster your experience under the title, like the communications, and under the communication you can actually chronologically mention that where you work. So it's actually clustering your skills and strength and putting all your experiences and background in those clusters. So as I mentioned, it's most suitable if you want to switch your job from one industry to another industry, or one sector to another sector. Like when you want to mention your transferable skill, then functional. And you want to switch between sector, like you want to switch from bank to microfinance, or you want to switch from NGO to corporate sector, then functional CV is most suited for you. And then finally, targeted CV. So targeted CV is actually written targeting a specific job opportunity. Like when we write targeted CV, like like during the headhunting process, like you are applying for a managing director position or CEO position, and the headhunting is going, and they are picking up 2 or 3 best CEO candidate from the country. Then what you will do, you will actually design a tailor-made CV focusing on how you are best suited for a CEO position role. It can be a chronological CV, it can be a functional CV, but this CV is purely designed or drafted for a specific job opportunity. So in those kind of special situation, we actually use a targeted CV. So as you can understand, if you ask what type of CV to write, so if you have a career path, straight line career path, no career breaks, if you want to work in the same industry, so then chronological CV is best suited for you. If you want to switch between industry or sector, if you have career break or educational break, and you do not have consistency, then a functional CV would be a great option. And when you are applying through a headhunting process, or applying through a networking process, then we should suggest you to design a targeted CV, like a CV specifically targeted for someone. Like actually, when we apply for a bigger role, a more responsible role, and this CV will be actually reviewed by the some top-notch CEO or the owner of the company, then it is best that you design and tailor-made CV to actually meet up the specific requirement of those interviewer or a hiring manager. So yeah, so far these were my discussion topic for the first micro module. Like we tried to understand like what is the role of a CV. The role of a CV is to get you an interview call that is clear and straight, nothing else. And we actually develop or design our CV first. Then based on that CV, we actually prepare a cover letter, and we also use all those information written in the CV to fill up the template, like CV template, or even the online CV form to apply for a job. and then we try to understand like what are the common types of CV and when to use which one. So I guess these were all the discussion of my first module. So we can have a short Q&A session. I would like you to raise your hand first digitally, then ask the question. That will actually help us to organize the session. If anyone wants to ask anything based on this discussion. Okay, I'm seeing a hand. Apurva Das Deepta. So
Yes,
Apurva
sir.
Das, please.
Sir, what is sales brochure? Can you please explain again sales brochure?
Okay, so for example, like I guess you are from Bangladesh, right, Apurva?
Yes, I am a student.
Yeah. So what happens like when we complete our intermediate study, like or we just complete our specific intermediate exam, HSC exam, and we come out from the exam hall, you'll see some coaching, that university coaching actually distributes some leaflet in one pager that mention actually what is the rate of this specific course, who will be teaching the course, and their success stories. So these are the sales brochure. Like it's a very specific one pager, very specific information, very easily consumable, and that sense like what that actually precisely mention what is the objective and what is the capacity or capability that they are bringing in. But when we talk about technical document, it's a detailed description. Like then in the technical document, you will see like if it's a technical document of coaching center, then you will see like the detailed biography of each and every instructor, their educational background. You'll see their maybe their course curriculum breakdown in specific modules, everything like that, so that you can take the decision like whether you should pay for this package or another package. So sales brochure is kind of a crispy document that actually used to hook the potential client, and the product technical document is actually used when the client is hooked. Now client wants to know a bit more about the product, then we use actually technical document. Okay, I am seeing the hand of Saidul Islam. So Saidul Islam. So Mr. Saidul Islam, I am seeing your hand raised. Do you want to ask anything right now? Okay. I guess you can write on the chat box if you have.
You mentioned that CV should be 2 to 3 pages, whereas resume should. I don't have enough job experience, so how can I actually liberate my job, my skills and other experience in 2 to 3 pages?
Okay, great question. So yeah, we have the answer in the next module. Let's discuss and share the next module. Then if you still have that question in mind, then we can discuss after the next module. Right, Sadhu bhai?
Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah, sure. So okay,